So, as you know or don't, the last few battles I've been posting are from this tournament from my Pokemon Go Discord. It is a tournament in which we can only use Pokemon that are obtainable pre-Elite Four. If you want additional information, go ahead and check the first video. I explained it in a little more detail. So this is the actual, and it's a double elimination tournament, and this is actually the last battle. This is the championship battle of the winners bracket. So being that it's double elimination, whoever wins this matchup will be sent to the losers bracket, and eventually the winner of the losers bracket will have to fight the loser of the winners bracket. Obviously, the winner of the winners bracket having 2 lives. So yeah, that's all I have to say. This battle is against the founder of the Discord, IVpips, and he's a really cool guy. And I can't be thankful enough that this Discord exists because it's made Pokemon Go raiding so much easier for me. But yeah, he's a really cool guy, and obviously a really interesting team that he's bringing. Right at the bat, there's 2 things I noticed. And one of them is good, and that's that he has no electric immunities nor dragon immunities, which will hopefully put me in a better position to Volt Switch with impunity, as well as eventually set up. He has nothing to block kommo-o's Z move, which is also good, and it's actually the first battle that I've had that opportunity as well. And the other thing I noticed, though, is that he has Mega Venusaur, which is a Pokemon that my team is utterly unprepared to counter because I don't have any flying or psychic moves on my team except for Brave Bird. So I have to hope he doesn't carry Hidden Power Fire on it, because if he does, it's a huge problem for my team. But anyway, he's going to go ahead and lead with Skarmory. I lose Mega Manectric, and I'm like, you know what? He does have Sturdy. He's probably just going to try to set up his Stealth Rocks. I'm just going to make him pay for it. It's going to hit me. I'm just going to hit down the Skarmory to 1 HP. And now when I decide to switch out into my Decidueye, I don't think he's going to stay in and let me kill him, so I just go for a Defog. He ends up staying in, though. I guess wanting to see what I would do. And he just goes for the Roost, so it's good for him getting his HP back, because now he would have an opportunity to set up Stealth Rocks again. So I don't think he's going to, though. I think he's going to try to deal with my Decidueye. So I decide to switch back out, and I go into Manectric again, banking on the fact that he's not going to just set up Stealth Rocks again, knowing that I can just defog him. He probably doesn't suspect my Decidueye is Scarfed. So, yeah, I just do that, expecting a Brave Bird, and indeed, he does go for it. So after the Intimidate, not to mention the Resistance, I'm able to take that really nicely, and now he's in a bad position because he knows that I can kill his Skarmory at this range, obviously. And, yeah, he pretty much has to switch out and live with the fact that he can't get up Stealth Rock set up right away. So in comes Blissey, and another thing you probably notice about his team is he does carry Skarm Bliss, kind of a blast from the past, and kind of a notorious defensive combination that is, once again, making its head up in this tournament, and it's a really nice one. But anyway, I'm just going to go into my kommo-o, and I do this and he doesn't know, probably, that I am modest and completely special, nor does he probably suspect I'm a kommo-o, Commonium Z kommo-o, but I am. So I'm going to go ahead and go into there. I bluff the Blissey away by bluffing the close combat, or another physical fighting move, which most people expect. And that gives me the opportunity to set up an Autonomize on the Switch, and now I'm going to go ahead and pop off my Z move on this incoming Arcanine, hoping to just take it out. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and unleash my Z move, and that is, of course, Clanging Soul Blade, I think. Yeah, is that it? Clangorous Soul Blade, that's the one. And this is a really great Z move. It gives a rainbow boost on use, it does a ton of damage, and it can really be bad. So after I hit this Arcanine here, I'm going to be sitting here at plus 1 in all stats, plus 3 speed, actually, because I autonomized on the turn he switched out with Blissey. And yeah, he's just going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, which is like fine for me. I guess the residual damage isn't great, but Burn, obviously, damage was nerfed in this generation, so it's not even that big of a deal. I can't get any other status set on me, which is like icing on the cake, and it doesn't hurt my kommo-o at all because it's purely special. So I go for the Clanging Soul Blades here. I know that it, just to finish off the Arcanine, I know that it's a defense drop, but the reason I wanted to go for it instead of Focus Blast, because I didn't want to miss. But I should have went for the Focus Blast because in comes Blissey. And now the moment of truth. At plus 1, how much can I do with Focus Blast on freaking Blissey, who obviously is a special wall? And I OHKO it. Well, not OHKO it. I guess it's not a complete OHKO because it did have some damage on it, but that was still epic. I mean, how many times do you see Blissey sitting at like nearly full HP get killed by a special move. Not often. Shows you the power of this set. Like I said, this is a modest kommo-o. So anyway, in comes Weavile, which I knew that he had, and I knew was going to be the biggest problem for my kommo-o, and I did lower my defense, so it's back to normal range. I still feel kind of confident I can take an Ice Shard, so that's what I do. I stay in. It does a lot of damage, obviously, but I am able to live. Unfortunately, now he's going to go into Mega Venusaur, and this is, like I said, a problem for my team for sure. I'm gonna go for a clanging scales, and I do that instead of flamethrower, obviously, because Mega Venusaur's ability, Thick Fat, basically negates its weakness to fire. So while obviously flamethrower would be super effective, clanging scales is actually stronger because the super effectiveness is being negated by Thick Fat. So that was my strongest move. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to quite. In fact, it actually takes that very nicely, and it actually confirms my worst fear that this is a specially bulky Mega Venusaur, because it took that extremely well, and I'm like, well, crap. I'm going to go into my Skarmory. It's the only Pokemon I have that can super affect that Mega Venusaur after taking into consideration Thick Fat, and I'm just going to go for a Brave Bird, and in comes Espeon, and yeah, Espeon is an interesting Pokemon as well. In fact, his entire team is extremely well-rounded. Espeon obviously has Magic Bounce, which will make it hard for me to set up my hazards. I'm going to go into my Araquanid, and I make a really ballsy play here. I decide, I believe, on this switch, because I knew that he would probably not want to risk his Espeon dying, to go for the Sticky Web. So that was actually a really ballsy play, and it could have easily backfired, and it was probably not a thing, not a risk I need to take. If I would have went for a Leech Life there, I probably could have killed this Venusaur. I don't know. No, I guess not. No, it actually takes that very well. It's just a bulky Venusaur in general. I don't even know how it's EV'd. But he tries to obviously do damage, and at this point he said he thinks he lost. But no, this battle is still on. Despite my rampage with kommo-o earlier in the match, I still really don't have anything for this Venusaur, and it does carry Hidden Power Fire, so not even Skarmory can be a good counter here to this Venusaur, because obviously Skarmory is going to be taking a lot more from Hidden Power Fire, well, at least a lot of damage from Hidden Power Fire, and not be able to kill this thing with Brave Bird, considering Brave Bird does less than half, even after the super effectiveness. So, yeah, I'm just going to go into my Porygon, too, because it's bulky and stuff at the very least, and he's going to get the poison there with Sludge Bomb. Kind of whatever. I'm just at this point, and I kind of didn't want to do this, but I kind of really need to Synthesis stall that Venusaur in the worst way. I cannot let it, because I really have no way to hit it hard. I have no way I can possibly get rid of the thing outside of wasting all of his Synthesis PP. Now, thankfully, Synthesis is a base 5 PP move, so we can only have 8 total of them, but it's still a huge, I mean, obviously, it's no small task. I do have the Pokemon advantage here, so I feel pretty confident I can win this out, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. I would like a freeze. I mean, eventually it's going to happen, right? So maybe that would happen too. That's what I'm thinking. I know that obviously Ice Beam isn't technically, well, it is technically super effective, but it's not practically super effective because of his Thick Fat. It's still better than you going for a Thunderbolt, because a Freeze would pretty much end this stall war, but obviously, and also he resists Electric, so whatever. I'm still poisoned, but there's not a whole lot I can do. Thank God it's just regular poison. I can kind of mitigate it with Recover, which has more base PP than Synthesis. But he also has Giga Drain, so that complicates things. My Porygon 2 is more of a physically bulky set. However, with Eviolite, it's kind of can take all hits very well. Unfortunately, my Ice Beam is not really even doing that much. But like I said, I'm just trying to force him to waste his Synthesis PP. At this point, it's my real one chance of being able to take it out is just wither it down this way, because I have no way to just get rid of this thing in a quick manner. So I just kind of have to rely on Porygon 2 just kind of, stalling it out. And I don't know why I didn't heal there. That was stupid. Like I said, I knew that Recover had more PP than Synthesis. I could have actually kept fighting the good fight there with my Porygon 2, but instead I guess I just let it die and go into Manectric. That was probably not a great play. I could have probably stalled it a little bit more with Porygon 2, but instead I'm just going to go to Mega Manectric and just go for an Overheat. I think I kind of wanted to see how much an Overheat would do to this Venusaur at full power, and it does less than half, predictably, being that it's neutral after the Thick Fat. So I'm just going to go ahead and Volt Switch now that I have -2 special attack, and I go ahead and Volt Switch out into Decidueye. I did get down this Venusaur down to below half again, so that's going to make him Synthesis. And actually, I have not been counting this narration. I was counting during the battle how many Synthesis he had left, but I kind of lost track as I'm doing this narration. If you're paying attention at home, you probably can tell, but he's probably used about 3 or 4 at this point, so he can probably have 3 or 4 left. So, yeah, just going to go back into Manectric, get off the Intimidate pointlessly, and he's just going to go for the Empower Fire again. Trying to predict my Skarmory, probably, because he knows that my Skarmory probably is the best shot to actually do damage to him. But instead I go into Manectric, he's going to get a decent hit off there, and I go into Arachnid now, knowing the Arachnid can take Hidden Power Fire extremely well, and he's going to pop off a Synthesis early. He's not even below half at this point. I guess he's worried about being damaged to a point that I can revenge kill him after an Overheat. But, yeah, he's just going to play it very safe there with Synthesis. But, yeah, that kind of works for me because, like I said, I'm just trying to drain the Synthesis PP out of his system, man. Trying to drain this Venusaur, get it tired so it can't heal anymore. Mega Venusaur, like all Megas, obviously, you know, they can't have leftovers, so the only way they have to reliably heal their HP is moves, and Venusaur gets a good one in Synthesis, but obviously it's flawed by the amount of base PP it has. So, yeah, anyway, he's going to go ahead and Sludge Bomb my Arachnid. My Arachnid isn't an Assault Vest set, obviously, because I'm carrying Sticky Webs as leftovers, and I believe it's actually EV to be more physically bulky, because I have this special bulk naturally, but it's still doing a lot of damage there with his special moves. And I can't actually, obviously, stall it with Arachnid as well as I could have with Porygon 2, because Porygon 2 had recovered, so I have no idea what I was thinking when I let Porygon 2 die. That was a really poor play on my part. But Arachnid should do enough to do the trick, because I am going to be able to force him now to Leech Seed. He also has another way to recover his health, and that's Giga Drain, which he probably should have been using more in hindsight, because he seems to be using Sludge Bomb, which is, I believe, a little more powerful than Giga Drain. But Giga Drain would obviously reduce the amount of Synthesis he would be required to use. So, yep, he's going to go ahead and Giga Drain again, and it's just a matter of time, I think. I'm just going to keep Leech Lifing him. It does give me some HP back. He did get the Poison off on my Arachnid, so it's obviously going to be probably taking a little more damage than it is, healing. And yeah, he's just going to go ahead and finish me off with Giga Drain, which puts this Blueberry thing back into green HP and destroys my Arachnid. So yeah, I'm just going to go into Skarm. He can Hidden Power me. I don't think Hidden Power will one-shot my Skarmory either, so I'm just going to go for a Brave Bird to get him once again below half, and I do that, and it is below half. It's actually going to be a 2-hit KO by the looks of it on this Blueberry thing, at least very close to one. His Hidden Power Fire doesn't quite kill me, and that was a crit too, so I was actually kind of, after I saw the crit, I kind of thought I'd die, but I actually took that a little better than I thought it would, and even with it being a crit, I'm able to live with 4 HP. He actually makes a nice play here, and decides to go out into his Espeon. What I really should have done was Roost there. I guess, actually, no, that would, I don't know. Maybe I should have, no, I probably shouldn't have, because he probably would have still be doing a little more than half with Hidden Power Fire. I'm not sure. But he makes a nice play. He wants me to die to Brave Bird to his Espeon, but once again, Skarmory with a clutch survive there. The Brave Bird leaves me at 1 HP exactly, and that's going to let me get this this Brave Bird off on the Venusaur, and that'll finish off the match. Now, he gets set down to the loser's bracket, right? And I am the winner of the winner's bracket. So it comes down, I'm just going to do a slight spoiler, and I'm just going to maybe hype the next battle up. What happened in the loser's bracket is the last loser bracket battle actually was between I think it's Chima, who was my first opponent in this tournament, and this guy, IVpips, who obviously got to skip to the end of the loser's bracket because he lost later. And I was really hoping that Chima would win, because I don't think I match up well against this team at all. Aside from the fact that he doesn't have a Fairy or an Electric type, which kind of plays into my hand a little bit, I have nothing for Mega Venusaur. And I think the only reason I won this first battle is because I was able to surprise him with the kommo-o, which I don't think it will be easy to do again against that Blissey, because now he knows that I'm only special. It's going to be a lot harder to overcome and surprise that Blissey and get off a kommo-o kind of rampage going, which I think I need to do to win. And let me just say, IVpips wins in the loser bracket. So we're going into a rematch next episode, the next battle that I'll be posting here. It'll be the second match against IVpips. If I win the tournament, and I'll be undefeated in the tournament too. If he wins, it comes down to a third battle. So stay tuned for the next battle to see if I'm going to be able to win, or if I need to go down to a third battle, and it should be really good. I hope you enjoyed this battle. It was really close. And as you can see, it's going to be a challenge. Even though I won this battle, it's going to be a serious challenge to beat him again. Now that we know each other's teams, I think it actually favors him a little bit. So today's question of the day is going to be, do you in general prefer special attackers or physical attackers? Obviously, kind of inspired by kommo-o, who can kind of be either now. And honestly, I should have brought mixed kommo-o. I really should have. I do want to try that with its Z move, just bring a mix set so it can kind of handle all kind of threats, especially because it gives it access to Poison Jab. But yeah, leave a comment about that. Which if you had to choose, which attacking category do you like best? Special or physical attackers? As for me, I usually prefer physical attackers. But yeah, leave a comment about that, guys, and see you guys again next time. Later.